Welcome to Ghost Talk Shows. Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Challenges we have had to overcome in 2020.
Find your own voice.
The world has become united by the unseen, knowing there are no guarantees for tomorrow.
Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Let the world hear your voice and be filled within.
For the day has come for you to be a great leader.
The time has come to break away from the pain, distraction, experience the unthinkable.
Find your own voice. Lead from within. Welcome to Ghost Talk Shows, everyone. My name is Nomsakla Mnge. I'm the founder of Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency and the founder of Ghost Talk Shows. So today with me I have Dr. Biget. Dr. Biget, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you, Numsa. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Here in Los Angeles, it's early, bright and early in the morning. And let me ask you this. Are you in a very fulfilling, happy, magnificent, as awesome as you would love it to be relationship? Or would you love to be in one? Or perhaps you're in a relationship and you would love for it to be very happy, fulfilling, just kind of 10 out of 10 super awesome relationship. And if you are, notice that it is not the relationship that can make you happy. You actually the one that can make the relationship happy, and that's something that we're going to share today on why is it just relationship alone is not going to make you super happy and stay super happy. And as that is one of the things that I help people create, being a grief transformation coach, oftentimes I work with people who has challenges, some things like they've been through divorce and perhaps loss and things, and at the same time create a happy relationship that make that they are happy and a relationship happy. So listen up, if you love to be in a super awesome relationship that happen easily and with a lot of fun. I'm Dr. Burjit Tan, a grief transformation coach.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Bigot. I'm trying to put the volume up. So thank you so much. So our topic today, Dr. Bigot, have already said the topic, why relationship will make you happy. So I have my tree here. This tree has roots in it. So some people enter a relationship, they believe that they are significant will make them happy. They're like they go to the gym, they start swimming, and they lose weight. They buy a new deodorant, perfume, and they change everything. But inside is the same. Outside they change everything, and they're like, I'm not happy, but I'm gonna find somebody to make me happy. But actually, and then they meet that person, nothing changes. It's the same, or sometimes they get disappointed, and that relationship ends with it basically because when the trees is not the seeds of the tree is not planted properly, and then you believe that somebody else. Do you mind to mute Dr. Bigot? Good morning, Tewa Tewa. I think he's gone. I didn't see his message. Good morning, Rashid. How are you? Hope you are okay. And I don't know where you might be. Please, if you are listening and you are watching to this, and please type and tell us your happiness. What do you believe happiness is? So we would love to hear from you. And when that seed is not basically planted properly, and the happiness, basically the seed of the happiness, if it's not within, the marriage and the relationship dies, and then you're back to square one looking for another person to make you happy. So now the question is, what do you guys think? What is happiness basically in a relationship? Do you think somebody can actually give you happiness, or do you think happiness comes from within? So I love to hear your thoughts, guys, if you are listening, and if you are listening to this later. And Dr. Pickett, I would love to hear your thoughts, please.
Yes, absolutely. Is happiness come from within? To me, we live in an inside out world. In other words, what your result out there, whether your happiness or something else is, it's something that come from inside out. You cannot be continuously happy, whether it is actually from relationship or perhaps relationship with a person, or it is actually to even here being the Los Angeles and Beverly Hills and all this. It's also sometimes from material thing. You could have you. Some people said, "Oh, you know what? If I buy this car, if I have this car, I'll be a whole lot happier, or this house, or what have you." And then at the same time, if the, like you said, Dumsa, like you imply, if the core of you, if the root of you is not happy, if you are just say, oh, I'm not happy, this and that, and then you looking outward, it might work as a in many cases it might work as a temporary bandage, where it's actually it's kind of like one of those, yay, I got this, and then people think they make them happy temporarily. I think it's the amusement. It's the amusements of whether it's you have a new person in your relationship, or a new car, or a new house. It's how long that amusement lasts, and then you're like, oh yeah, okay, I'm great, I'm great, and then the amusements wears off, and then you back to your unhappy self. And then with the relationship, we know that everything is energy, as Einstein says it. And so, since energy it is one of those that you can feel energy from far a distance. If you ever enter a room and you kind of like, what's up with the two persons in here? That's energy. So if your inside is not happy, so in other words, your core energy is you dissatisfied, you want somebody else to make you happy, and all these things, that actually what's inside can go will be felt outside. If you just met somebody, and this is another example, if you have met somebody and you say to them, excuse me, how are you doing, and they're like, oh, I'm doing wonderful, but you're like, you're not really doing wonderful, something off with you. Well, your partner will feel that if you are inside of you is you dissatisfied, you're unhappy, you constantly worry, or whatever that cause you to not feel truly at ease and joyful. And it actually will oftentimes influence your partner, even if the person's originally a very happy person. And so not only I think relationship cannot make you happy, sometimes if you're not happy, you can influence the relationship and make it unhappy. Have you, in your work, Numsa, you work with couple, and you work with couples and so forth. Have you seen this going on?
Of course, of course, of course. What's the message? Thank you, Amuel. I'm in Richmond. Interested topic. I think most people become complacent and fight to pretend to be happy. Oh yes, that is so true. That is so true. I agree with you. Uh, people do pretend to be happy, but some people like myself, and for me to be able to be where I am with my happiness, sometimes I have good days, sometimes I have low days with my happiness. So I have joy within my heart though, but that joy cannot be taken away. So Dr. Biggett was saying, do I find this in my job with my clients? Actually, I do. That's why I do have coaches to coach my clients before they go on dates, because you find that people will come. You find, because mostly I work with clients that basically are very, very successful. So they come to me just because they have money. They think they can just find any woman. It is women thinks they are very successful, they can find any man. It's actually tough, because nowadays women know exactly what they want and men know exactly what they want. People have gone through challenging times, and when they come to you, they are like, I don't want to go through what I've been through. So you have to say, okay, if you don't want to go through what you've gone through, have you found joy in your life? Joy is your favorite word, Dr. Biggett, and being grateful. So we then have to find basically what is making them unhappy. So we have to work on limiting beliefs within, so that person can be happy within it before they can just go out and meet somebody. Because you know I said it before that I used to take like 3 hours, 2 hours getting dressed and making sure that when I step outside, I didn't step in the mud. When I mean I didn't step in the mud, meaning I would check every single thing: the handbag, the hair, the fake eyelashes, fake makeup, fake everything, nail varnish, everything, making sure that it matches everything, but inside I was broken. And so I had to cut down on how the time that I get ready. So I put that time into prayer and meditation for me to find the joy within my heart. So yes, Dr. Biggett, sometimes some people, they don't understand that joy is found within, happiness is found within your heart, is that satisfaction with life. You find the people, there are some people that have everything. I don't know if you ever met somebody who has everything, nice cars, money, everything, but they're miserable. But then you go on, you find somebody that has nothing, but they're grateful about everything in life. And then you also find somebody who is rich, who has everything. They are like, I don't want to be miserable. I worked very hard for my life to be where I am now, and I thank God for what He's given me. So they are grateful for that. So you find the different things in all different walks of life. So I don't know what has been your experience, Dr. Biggin, because basically gratitude for you and joy is what you do for living.
Yes, yes. So I definitely has seen that in all different versions, as you said, and yes, I think you very right, Rashid. But that's very true. That most people in life and in relationship become complacent, and many of them sometimes they pretend they're happy when we're not happy. And it is, as you said, and as Numsa said, it is your responsibility to be a contributing partner, and that's very true. That's a lot of people here being being the to a degree being the capital of be seen, and we have the expression in the states at least, matching, keeping up with the Jonases. So many people try to have this and to have that and buy the $15,000 handbag and all. And I have met so many people who are so magnificently decked up, and actually in my I call it my past life, in a life that I used to know, I would be one of those people where I it's so funny that you mentioned that I live in such a way that it is I don't, not with makeup, but many other material thing. It's like, okay, how do we need to look this way, and then and so forth. And it was a losing battle. That's how it was basically. And at the same time, there are many people that sometimes I remember, as I was actually back in the day when I was going through my divorce. I look around and I saw people, couple, just they seems very humble, and some of them quite young, and in different places, and they're so happy and being together, even though they didn't seem to have a whole lot. And that's actually what struck me back then. I'm like, oh my goodness, look at these people. I am pretty sure they have less than what we have, and and so forth, and yet they look so happy. Now the danger is some people would actually say, which is many times, it's a misconceptions. Well, money make you unhappy. Sometimes some people goes that route there, or they like money make you unhappy, or marriage make you unhappy. Well, perhaps it's not the money. I mean, there are also many people who are magnificently rich, being in Beverly Hills, and Malibu, and this area as well. There are many people who are magnificently rich, and they're also very happy. There are many people who have been married for decades and decades, and they are very happy. So it's not your money or your relationship, as you say, Numsa. It's your insight. Now the questions, of course, is, so how do you get there? How do you be happy? Like you said, Numsa, you naturally joyful, or happy, and you said, I'm basically a joy, and is all about me, and I'm all about joy. And so a couple things that you can do, that you mentioned it. For me, I want to hear what brings you joy. For me, it's two things. One is actually, as you say, gratitude. That gratitude can kind of ground you and make you have a broader perspective. And also the other thing is to actually clear up all your baggage, so to say, all your or your past experience, all the hidden grief that's still sitting in you, that cause you to not be able to appreciate and enjoy life, because that's what grief do. What about you? Is there certain practice that you do, or certain thing that you notice on being able to allow you to be happy from the inside out?
Answer Rachid because he was talking to you before I answer. Have you seen his message?
Second, we must try to gravitate to a person's characteristic that's good for us. Thank you for agreeing with us, Rashid. And so, yeah, I would say, we don't want to focus on their material thing, like you said, and that is so very happy. That's so very true, because material is material, and it's kind of like the shell of what it is outside, and you can, it's kind of like you, like Numsa say just now, you wear different clothes and be different thing, or different house or something, but with the person characteristic, it's who the person is. And 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 so that is what we want to connect with. And also it's with the person characteristic, and also our own characteristic. Actually, what is your own characteristic? Are you bringing your most authentic, cleanest self? Because sometimes I know men and women, that what they do is they have this thing where they kind of have the ideal of, okay, this person is this way, and I want to be this way. Hi, Reina. Thank you for joining us as well. The person is this way and they want to be this way. And then so they just kind of make themselves that way, but it's not their authentic self. And when that is happening, that's also unless you truly change, with many people do truly change, then yes, you gravitate to the person characteristic, but then who are you? Are you in there 100% your authentic self? And so please share your thought as well, Reina, if you are able to hear us, since I know you work with a lot of women and young women and empowerment of women. Would love to hear your guys' thought as well. What about your thoughts, Numsa?
A Happy New Year, Reina. And yes, my thought basically, guys, character and authenticity, I think it is something. And Dr. Bickett, you talk about earlier about the baggage from your past. You know, when I was going through confusion with my image, basically I had to go back basically my past, my childhood, and I had to find my character. My character was already there and my joy was already within, but I knew exactly who I was, but I was refusing to actually accept myself. So I had to come to a point where I had to forgive myself and accept myself who I was as a person, and I had to build the image that I basically that makes me happy. Spending 3 hours wearing fake eyelashes, it wasn't making me happy. It is basically when my relationship fell apart. I actually, when I was going through divorce, I remember crying basically, and I was like crying and saying, God, I ask you to give me the man that will look after me, the man that will do this, and you gave me exactly that man. But you have taken that man away from me. And I remember God is saying to me, no, sir, I did not take the man away from you. I gave you what you asked for, but you didn't know how to look after that thing that you asked for. So I was somebody, I'll just make sure that when I go out, everything is in detail. But now, when I go out, first I have to pray within to connect with my energy. I have to meditate to make sure that I activate that spirit within me. I have to check within myself. I have to check with Nomsa if okay. So I had to work on that package from my past, and I had to. Oh yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can respond later. That's fine. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day, Rashid. And so I had to get rid of the package that was carried from my past, and I have to accept who I as the person who I was. And like Dr. Pickett, you talking about joy, talking about gratefulness. I had to be grateful, and I had to be grateful to God that, you know what, God, you've given me this body, you've given me this life, and I've never thanked you enough. And I basically stripped my clothes in the body. I looked at my boobies, looked at everything, every single part of my body, coming to acceptance, accepting every part of my body. And I had to say, God, I will never ever basically say negative things about the life that you've given me. So to accept who I was, I had to basically find my life purpose. You know, when you have that sense of purpose, you show gratitude. So then I had to say, okay, in my next relationship, I'm gonna have to build a foundation. And now I found the happiness that I want. I'm gonna have to imagine this tree, like this is the tree, this is the plant. So this tree, for it to be there. So at the bottom of the roots of the tree, there is God, or whatever your beliefs that might be. There is a universe, there is God, and there is you, and there is the person that you're gonna meet. So God is gonna plant and help you, or the universe is gonna help you to plant this, to grow the tree, to as a foundation of your relationship. But if the happiness is not here, God cannot enter your life and help you to grow this tree, for this tree to be the way it is right now. Is beautiful, is green, he has happiness, he has gratitude, he has joy. When he has problems, he cries, then he accepts it, it goes on, the life must go on. So over to you, Dr. Biggett, because I'm gonna keep going on and on and on. Or over to you. You can respond to the message. What does it say? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that
And yes, thank you. And Reina, thank you that I noticed you said you're here for a lot of times. So thank you for joining us. And yeah, that is definitely true. Then we're kind of like a tree. I love that analogy. And my goodness, that is quite something. I can only imagine if you need to take 3 hours to put on an eyeglasses or something like that. Uh, I'm not one to put on much makeup, as many of you can probably see right now. The
Oh, I don't do that anymore, Dr. Biggett. I've come to acceptance. I don't put makeup anymore.
Yeah, yeah, and the and I love that analogy. I love that analogy of you like being a tree where you can cut, you hear, and then you have all your branches of life, and then the fruit that you produce from being a tree, and that is so beautiful. And so I would say then some people would say, okay, so how do you become a good tree? How you be s- able to be something where you are you're wonderful, where you bring a sweet fruit, so to say. And I would say one thing is two things to actually. First is if you want to thrive, just like say you are a fruit tree and you are in an environment where it's kind of similar to being at the Sahara in the middle of summer. Well, yes, your outside cannot make you happy, but if you what outside doesn't make or break you, and at the same time, to a degree, to a degree, if you constantly 24/7 for your whole life in such an environment that is very harsh for you, you can practice whatever you can practice. It's still going to be more challenging for you to thrive. That is one thing. But also the other part is like how you, like you said, it's the roots, and it's also like being a tree. Sometimes we need to prune trees, right? Like when you got tree, they're growing. I have trees here. Sometimes they release the leaves that's no longer serving them. They release the flower that's no longer serving them. And sometimes they even need help, like a certain tree you got to prune them and clean them up and things like that for them to be able to continue well, growing well. I have one plant here that I noticed that as it grows, if I don't do it for quite some time, it's just kind of slower in making new leaves and growing. And then I would prune them, and then the trees kind of says, okay, I'm lighter now and I feel happy, and then I grow faster again. And that's the same thing with you, that you want to clean up, and let go of the current grief that you might notice. And many people actually don't realize that they have, many of us might realize that we have certain things that's like our baggage. And let me tell you this, one think that if you like, do I have baggage? Do I still carry baggage? Do I have dead leaves hanging out on me, or dead fruit or something that I need to release? If you have a trigger, somebody say something, you hear something, and what have you, and you got triggered, you're like, or you got very upset, you get really sad. That is an indication for an experienced grief coach. That's an indication that you have hidden grief. And guess what? If you're being weighed down by that, if you have if you have some things that's hanging on you, then you're not going to be able to be fully into that. And so much so that if you think everything is in your body and in your life is connected, if you ever hear stories of people who has, say, diabetes or certain health condition, where they can get an infections and then they cannot clear up the infections, usually on their hand or on their feet, to the point that at many times the doctor says, we need to amputate you. We need to amputate you. Why do you need to amputate? I mean, why can't you just go around running around with an infected foot, for instance, and so forth? Well, one thing is being alive, and us navigating and things going on. When you have things going on in other part of your body, everything connected, everything's a circulation. So actually some part, your baggage, whether it's an actual physical thing if it is an infection or something else, it'll actually circulate into your body, and as much as you try to put it away for some time, it will get into your system and then get into your relationship. And so to me, that is why you want to, as Numsa say, prune your own trees and if sometimes just like a tree, sometimes you need help to have people from outside to kind of help you to have a clean slate. And this is actually wonderful, being the beginning of the year. Is It's perfect time to have a clean slate that will allow you to be able to create what it is that you would love easier. What about what's your thought about this, Reina? If you have any thought that you want to share, thank you for loving the conversations. Or if you have any thought about clean, creating a cleaner slate on how do you prune yourself, Numsa? I think you're muted, Numsa.
Rashid said, thank you. Thank you so much, Rashid, for your message. And Reina, thank you so much for basically joining us and getting involved. And so, what was the question, Dr. Bigot?
Oh, we were talking about pruning, and Reina says yes, we all need pruning, and Receipt says a lot of people end up in unhealthy relationship because they don't give themselves time to become cleansed from the previous relationship. And so I was saying, what are for me, one of the thing is to clean up all your hidden and previous grief, as well as to practice gratitude. Now, what about you? What are some of the things that you do? Because life being life, we're living this world here, and yes, we sometimes we do absolutely want to clear out our hidden grief, previous release baggage from previous relationship, but living life day to day, even living life day to day, we got grimes of life. And so what do you do to clean, to continue pruning yourself?
Basically, what I do, Dr. Bigot, for me, when I enter a relationship, I've worked on myself and I accepted myself for who I am as a person. Just trying to check. I think people end up in a or unhealthy relationship because they don't give themselves time to become cleansed from the previous. Okay, that is true. Agree 100%. Some people can't stay single. Basically, they can't. So for me, basically, when I enter a relationship, there's one thing that I have to do because I accepted myself for who I am, and I basically accepted the joy that God is giving me as a person, and being grateful for who I am as a person. So when I enter a relationship, for me, I'm the queen. So it's for me to say the king. How can I serve you, the king? all about serving, and I'm all about receiving as well. Because if I'm giving you joy, sharing my joy with you, I have to receive joy as well from you. I have to receive that happiness, little of happiness from you. But first, I have to have joy within my heart. And then once I accept myself, for me, a relationship is all about sharing that unconditional love that I have within me. I can't give you my heart. Some people say, baby, I will give you my heart. Me, I say, honey, I will not give you my heart that God gave me. This heart, this joy that God gave me is all mine to keep. But he gave it to me to share it with the world. He didn't give it to me to give it to the world. So he gave it to me to share it with my spouse, my lover. So when I meet you, honey, is for me, it's all about the first class sharing my joy with you, not giving you my joy. So that is how I understand love. Is for me to share the love that God has given me. Because God or the universe, whatever your beliefs that might be, when you seek, you say, like me, I'm a Christian, I seek God. I say, God, who am I? Who is Nomsa? Show me any hidden secret, hidden talent, hidden love about myself. So if God reveals that to me, and I go out, I share it with the world. That's what my heart is for. My heart is for me to share with my spouse, not to give it to my spouse. So it means I remain the same. I can fit you into my heart, share everything with you, but I can't give you my heart. So that's what love for me, that's what happiness is about, is for me to share with you, to share this unconditional happiness that I have found within me, and just live that happy life, and understanding that we are all wounded, we all come from different backgrounds. So I have to try to find out, to basically try to relate with whatever you've been through. But I can't fix you. If you are broken, honey, and you have not fixed yourself, I can't fix you. You need a professional therapist to fix you, not me. So that's what I understand what love is about. Is for me to share with my spouse. And if I understand the unconditional, the power of sharing, the power of what God has given me, I know I'm gonna make the other person happy, and I'm gonna keep growing, and I'm gonna keep basically developing myself, because I'm not gonna stay in one place. And the other person as well, if they are growing as well, that means a man basically is an architect. A woman is a mentor. So that means a man comes to me with the ideas, with their heart, sharing with their ideas. I'm a mentor. They pitch, I basically look at the ideas. Oh, yes, yes, we can do this, honey, we can do this. I am in a relationship to mind control no one. I'm not in a relationship to fix no one. I'm here to share my love, share my happiness that I found, and share my joy. I don't know about you, Dr. Pickett, and everyone who is watching. I love to hear your opinion, guys.
Yeah, well, share with us what you think, Reina, as well as Rashid and Baman. Share with us what you think about that. And I love that. It is so true. Yes. And Rashid says that too. So true. Our hearts are for to be shared. And yeah, love is. And it's very interesting. I actually came into these realizations, I have to say, only several years ago, when my marriage ended, and that was about a decade ago now, and I was in different relationship where I really very much we appreciate each other, and I love the person very much. And how it's kind of so funny, like we hear all the time, songs or something saying, "Oh, you broke my heart, and you stole my heart," and things like that. And at some point, when that particular second relationships was completing, I thought I have this thought. Oh well, I guess I lost my heart or I left my heart or something like that. And then, like you said, I came into these realizations. No, that's not true. Love is here all the time. There is love here before us, before you even brought into this world. That's what's power life in this world. And whether you call it, the source of love is universe or life or God, people put different name, but there is love here before us, and it will and there is love inside of you that come from a universal source, and that love is for you to be shared. For you to share your love, not to hold it tight. Just like if you breathe, you don't just holding and taking a breath and never exhale. It's gonna to be a circulation. You receive love and then you share it, and then the same things. It's something that's also always here. As long as you stay connected with love, you will you will not run out of it, so to say, and you will continue to to be able to share it. And yes, you don't want in a relationship unless it's happened to be your client, which then in all other cases, whether you are a coach, a counselor or something, you're not there to fix the other person. And sometimes that's actually the other part that people get confused. They kind of like, oh well, I want these other persons to be this way, and so let me enter this relationship with an intentions to fix the other persons. Hello, did that person ask you to fix it or her? So it's like, and so that is something that, now the other part though, sometimes many people say, well, yeah, it's easy for you to say that there's always love here, and then you want to share love and share your heart. But what if we're not yourself, you're not feeling the love. If yourself, you are not happy, and yes, we want to be authentic, but then what can we do? And that's again, it's a few things that I would say back to that. And one is, we know many science shows that gratitude, doing gratitude can help you in become in a much better state energetically, clear up your mind and so forth. So if you need motivations on to be able to consistently do gratitudes, and I typically recommend people to do gratitude every day, at least actually ideally a couple times a day. Go get my book, which is this Joyful You 52.3 Weeks Gratitude book. It's available on Amazon in every country. And it is actually this one little book here. It costs, I think we discovered it's about £8 or $11. It will last you the whole year. And what an investment it is for yourself as well as your relationship. And if you have little ones in your house, you might want to do that as well. Now, again, the goal is not to try to fix somebody. So if it's like your significant others is saying, I'm not into doing gratitude, don't say, hey, you got to do this either. So you don't do that. But for you yourself, for your kids, that will be a wonderful investment, of a very nominal investments for you being happy. And then when you are happy, you can bring that happiness. When your heart is blooming, like Numsa says, then you can bring the fruit of your heart and of your joy and your happiness into a relationship, instead of trying to get something feeding you constantly. And so I would say that is something that I would agree that, our heart, our life is to be shared. And also, like you say, Numsa, it's not there is no such a thing to giving it, because it's something that you constantly, and you can't lose it either. So
That is so true. I love the part where you say, basically, with some people try to fix and say, even if they see that there is no happiness in that relationship. They're like trying to fix somebody and think they're gonna fix it. It's tiring. Trying to change somebody else is tiring. Even if it's somebody you are not, imagine you have a friend who is basically emotionally they're not stable and they're depressed and stuff. Because when you are depressed, you have to get healing. You have to get professional help. So if that person doesn't get professional help and you think, okay, I have this happiness within, I'm going to share it with them, I'm going to light up their world, and they're going to be really, really happy, then it's exhausting because that's not how it happens. So then you end up taking their energy with you as well. So you end up like being depressed as well. So basically, for me, happiness is basically it is something that you cannot like give it to somebody else. It's a foundation that you need to build yourself. We build your own happiness, and then you share it with somebody else. And I'm a big fan of God and values and beliefs. I always say to my friends, we don't have to have the same beliefs. You tell me your beliefs, I listen to them, but I don't have to believe them. And just because you don't believe in my beliefs, it doesn't mean we can't be friends. I always make it clear that if I'm gonna be your friend, I have to listen to your beliefs and share your beliefs. God, in his kingdom, he says, if you want to enter my kingdom, he has his principles, he has his commandments. So in place. So when you do find that happiness thing and you meet somebody, you want to share your life with that person, you got to have principles in place that not letting people coming into your life and affirming your relationship, because people interfere, mostly in-laws and friends. They love to tell you what to do in relationships. So they like to play therapist, and people like to really play therapist and say, and I was. My sister-in-law, she just separated with her spouse, and everyone was putting their opinion. And I was like, "Listen, guys, whatever is being said, you've had this. Just leave these two people alone. And one of them might come and tell you the story, and the other one comes and tell you a different story. But all you got to do is support these two people, because that's what they need is support, not to basically listen to gossip who did wrong, who did what. Just support them, because that means the happiness, they have not found what they're looking for. So they might work out, because sometimes people split up and they work out whatever is broken, they work it out, and then they want to try again. So I was like, leave a room for them to decide whether it is over or it's not. So, and everyone is looking at me. I'm like, yeah, you don't get involved in two people's business. Because, like, let's say if I'm going through something and the happiness, I'm struggling with my happiness and trying to fulfill my joy, I'm gonna need somebody that is gonna then support me, and somebody that is gonna basically let me basically work on my values and work on my beliefs and work on my principles. And also the knowledge of a relationship with Dr. Bigot is very, very important. That's why there's free YouTube. People can go and listen to YouTube. We have gossip talk shows. People can follow us. And when you hang out with people, you end up basically having the knowledge of what they have when it comes to love. We have relationship coaches, we have grief coaches, we have all coaches from all walk of life. So having that knowledge to learn about basically life, I think for me, it's a joy that no one can take away. It's a joy that if God can give you that knowledge and connect you with people that can basically help you to find your purpose. No, the world can't take that away from you, because it's been given by people who are being used by God, and no one can take that away from you. So that is my own opinion. Over to you before we leave, Dr. Bigot. Do you have anything to say?
Yeah, it's definitely, I love what you say that it's something that yes, you also don't want, as you said, when somebody going through things, or when you are going through things, what you want to do is to get the right knowledge, instead of, if someone going through things, then like you said, many people, and this is so very true, that's people just kind of like jumping in and throwing everything into the bowl. And sometimes it's actually, if we ever hear the expressions, too many cooks in the kitchen, and it turned into a mess. And so the same thing, if you are going through things, then you actually want to ask professional help, ask the appropriate coach, like Numsa is a relationship coach. And so if you're facing some challenges in your life with your relationship, connect with Numsa, because she knows about relationship more than most other people. And if you notice that you're carrying baggage, you notice that you have triggers, which usually indicate that you carrying baggage, then it is something that you definitely want to connect with me, because that is my expertise. Help you clear out your baggage, which is actually your hidden grief. Clear up your trigger, such that you can come with a clean slate, in a fresh, clean, happy state, and you bring into the relationship, instead of trying to have your partners do that for you. And that's very true, as Rashid says, gratitude, that's a good characteristic to do a self-evaluation on daily. And I would say that's about 1,000% agree with you, Rashid, that with gratitude, it will allow you to right where you are. It's good to keep you disciplined and to keep you motivated, to get the gratitude book that's in the picture here, and it's available on Amazon in any country, in the UK, in the US, any country in the world. But also you start everywhere. Some people say, oh, I'll do that, I'll use the book in the morning, and then many people has this smartphone nowadays, and you just put a single to what are you grateful for. And even better, if you are in a relationship and you want to improve that relationship, whether it's relationship with yourself or relationship with somebody else, express at least one thing a day, a gratitude about that. So like you said, you learn to make friend with yourself, Numsa, to love yourself with your different body part, look at it and different thing. And I did this as well. I used to be told multiple different things that make that back in the day I despise, not just dislike, I despise certain part of my body, is my legs and this and that. And you start expressing gratitude. What are you grateful for? Me, it was like, well, okay, I love dancing, so, and I love hiking, and having big strong leg is actually will allow me to be able to enjoy that better, and for with more durability. And so I start expressing that. And this is for anybody that was like, okay, what have you, your inside truly create your outside. Why? So in my marriage, in my marriage back in the day, back then I still hated my legs. And that's one of my relationship with myself, and I hated myself. And my former husband, amazing person in many ways, but also he also has a relationship with his legs, and also he appreciates many part of me, and not so much the legs. The person who I'm, and then over time with work, with self improvement, I learned to love every part of me, whether it's my hair, my eyes, my legs, what have you. I just learned to be very happy and very appreciate part of me, so much so that my plastic surgeon friend says, "Oh my God, if every person in this world is like you, all most plastic surgeons will go bankrupt." Anyhow, that's just on the side. And The most amazing part is the amazing person whom I am with now, the gentleman whom I am with now. One of the first thing that he loved the most about me is my legs. He just
Yeah,
loved my legs, and so it's a true testament of your inside. When you
yeah.
cleaned up your inside, your outside will follow very easily with no other effort. And so my final message to you, we're coming close to the 1 hour mark. My final message to you is it's worth it to clean up your inside, to get a grief coach, to get a if that's it is to get a release, to allow yourself to give yourself a relationship coach, a grief coach, anything that you need. Because once you do that, once you are happy, once you have a clean slate, then everything will just fall in place very effortlessly. It's kind of like fall out of the blue.
Thank you so much, Dr. Biget. And Rashid, self-evaluation as well is very, 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 very important. Do you want to unmute yourself, Dr. Biget, please? And self-evaluation every single day is very, very important because you're checking in with yourself. And I like it when your friend said every plastic surgeon will be really bankruptcy. And I used to, when you have money, I used to say, I'm gonna have I'm gonna do boobs. Like I watch TV channels and they're doing boob jobs, and I'll be like, I need to enlarge my boobs and things like that. But now, since I accepted my body, Dr. Bigot, I don't want any plastic, basically, to go through surgery within myself. And I'm so proud of myself as well because one day I was doing an event. I do events with my business coach, Desmond O'Connor. You've been to Desmond O'Connor's event. And one of his photographers, he comes to me, he goes, "No, sir, I need to talk to you." I was like, "Yeah, can we talk?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Is your body really everything real?" I was like, "Yeah." So I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Because we keep asking, so I've decided we keep talking about you behind your back. So we thought we should ask." So I was like, "Yes, I run Monday to Friday. I eat healthy. I do exercises. I do basically, I've been active since basically I used to do sports professional." So I said to him, since I retired, I'm still picking up and I eat healthy. I dress how I want and how I walk as well. I had to learn to walk as well. So I said to him, everything is real. So I had to learn to walk. I had to learn to walk my walk. When I go on stage, this is when I'm feeling the dress, I'm feeling my inner within. This is how I walk. So I said to him, I had to practice everything. So it is real. And he was like, seriously? I was like, yeah, it is real. I haven't got any surgery or anything. So he was like, oh, okay. So I was like, okay, I had to basically have the gratitude with God that if people can see good in me, it's like when I met you, Dr. Biget, you're stunning, you have a beautiful body. So I wouldn't think that you will question yourself, but we do question ourselves. We do, before I got into personal development, I did question myself. But some people, when they look at us, they are like, wow, what do you do to look like that? So, but we don't appreciate, we don't have that gratitude. So every single day now, I've got one of your gratitude diaries. So I write my gratitude diary as well. And I would like to say thank you to Rachit for joining us and the other people that were in here. So thank you so much, guys. So we are here Monday to Friday at Ngozi Talk Shows, 1 p.m. UK time. So you may say, okay, what do you do for me if I follow you guys? We have all the coaches, speakers from all walks of life. So basically, Ngozi Talk Shows, we help you find your own voice. We help you lead from within. Like Dr. Biget, she's a grief coach. So basically, you have your own voice. You walk your walk and talk your talk. And knowing that tomorrow, Kamau says, knowing that there are no guarantees for tomorrow, it means you enjoy every second, every minute of your life. Whether you work with us or if you follow us or you become our tribe, whatever that be, that's who we are. Anything you want to say, Dr. Biggett, before we leave?
Yeah, thank you. And actually, thank you for mentioning about just now about your habit and you have healthy and eat healthy. I almost forgot to mention talking about creating the result and then having relationship with other person but also with your body. I actually have an event coming out next week, a workshop that I'll share on the page very shortly as well. But the it's an event that on how to create your whole spectrum health, and that is a healthy insight, your emotional health, your physical health, all how to create all your whole spectrum health fully and completely. And so this is a workshop that we're doing Wednesday next week for a 4 p.m. Los Angeles time. So in the UK, it will be at the end of your evening, right? You learn something good right before you go to bed, and so but that is something that we're having right Wednesday next week. And yes, I would say that is that's very true. We're here for you. We're here for you. Like Numsa says, 5 days a week. It's different people, and so whether you know right now in 2020 your main thing is relationship or how to create wealth or how to create personal happiness, we all here for you, and you want to do what it takes to lead from within, to be able to just be you authentically and happily. And so that is something we definitely want to do, and we are here for you to support you in any manner that you want us to be.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pickett. Thank you, everyone. Live with grace,